welcome into Grimm's Gates of Horror. My name is Grim, and this is a new haven for all things horror. And today I'm going to be talking about the new horror movie Abigail that just came out today. Abigail is a fun and intense suspense-filled horror film that stars an insanely talented ensemble cast in Alisha Weir, Melissa Barrera, Kathryn Newton, Dan Stevens, the late Angus Cloud, Kevin Durand, Giancarlo Esposito, and William Catlett that all play their roles in different characters very well. The story follows a group of would-be criminals that kidnap the 12-year-old daughter of a powerful underworld figure. Holding her for ransom in a remote mansion, they realize their plan falls apart when they discover the captive is a sadistic ballerina vampire. And if that alone doesn't get you interested, just wait till I tell you how amazing this movie truly is. This movie is also directed by Radio Silence, Matt and Tyler, who did Scream 5 and 6, and they also did the movie Ready or Not, which I haven't seen yet. I know, I have to watch that movie, but from what I've heard, it's great. And I first just want to talk about how each character in this movie has their own unique personality, and the actors and their performances are just so amazing at bringing their characters' personalities out. Alisha Weir is truly amazing as Abigail, and I was surprised with how young she is and how great she really is, like acting wise. I remember watching her when the Matilda musical came out, and I was like, oh my god, this girl is going to go somewhere. And seeing her in this movie as a ballerina vampire, she is truly amazing, and I can't wait to see what else she does in her career. Throughout the first half of the movie, it was kind of a slow burn for the first act, as we basically focus on this group of characters as they settle into the mansion, and we learn about the characters little by little in some creative ways. And I love this because you start to care about each character, like I said, a little by little. And by the time the action starts in the second act, you truly feel immersed and engaged into the story and invested into these characters that you had just met. And you're just scared about whether they'll make it out or not. And I truly think the way Radio Silence executed that build-up was truly amazing, and how in such small time they made us truly care about these characters. One of the things I remember from the Scream TV series is how in a TV series you get attached to these characters. When it comes to Matt and Tyler, I feel like within not even half of the movie, you can get invested in attached to their characters from just how they direct and how they write these characters. And I feel like that is one great quality that Radio Silence truly has. Because I honestly didn't think I'd get so worried about these characters and get so invested into them. And I think that truly enhances the horror and thrilling aspects. Throughout this movie, there are also a bunch of one-liners that I know will be quoted a lot, and I just found myself laughing out loud a whole bunch during this movie, and I was surprised at how much I truly did. Even with that, this movie also gets serious when it comes to learning about the background of certain characters and how some can relate to each other. And at one point, this movie even made me tear up a bit just because of how good the certain actor's performance was in that scene. I also thought the practical effects in the gore galore in this movie was pretty awesome as well. Radio Silence just proves once again that they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to horror. And as someone who has seen 3 out of 4 of their movies, I can easily say they're in the top best horror directors for me. Overall, Abigail was an amazing time that was bloody, action-filled, hilarious, but also handled the serious scenes very well and truly knew how to enhance the premise with creativity and story development. And that's just my spoiler-free review of Abigail so far. So if you have not seen Abigail yet, I recommend going out to watch this in theaters and then coming back to this video and hear my full in-depth thoughts about this movie. And full spoilers are starting right now. So starting off, 6 criminals capture the ballet dancer Abigail, the daughter of a powerful underworld figure within New York, and bring her to a secluded mansion. The group, led by informant Lambert, who is played by Giancarlo Esposito, is told not to disclose any personal information, using aliases derived from the Rat Pack. The group consists of Joey, Frank, Sammy, Dean, Rickles, and Peter. After 24 hours, each will receive a $7 million check, so long as they complete the only task ensuring Abigail's safety. Joey is sent to watch over Abigail, and as they bond, Joey reveals that she has a son, And as Joey leaves, Abigail warns her about what will transpire during the night. I just have to say that this opening where we see this group prepare their operation of kidnapping Abigail, I thought it truly felt like one of those like scenes from like a Mission Impossible or like a heist movie. This opening just right here shows that Matt and Tyler can go beyond horror if they wanted to. I truly feel like they have the qualities of pulling it off a great thrilling action movie if they truly wanted to. And this scene right here just showed it. And when this group gets to the mansion and they start to get settled down, they get informed by Lambert. It kind of feels like the same feeling that I got from the movies Would You Rather, Escape Room, where they get invited to this one place and they have to stay there, and they or like kind of like Squid Games in a way where they get invited and they find out it's not what they thought it was. I thought that was pretty interesting. It definitely raised my interest a lot. And as this group starts to bond, we Angus Cloud's Dean tries to guess each person's like background in the story, and it's actually a pretty funny scene once you watch it. And I just remember laughing so hard at this, and then Melissa Barrera, like her as Joey, she just rips into all of them. As Dean gets all of them wrong, but Joey, she's able to read every single one of them. I'm just like, ooh, I wish she would read me like that. Like she really torched all of them. It's revealed that Joey is an army medic and recovering drug addict. Frank was a NYPD detective. Sammy, who is played by Kathryn Newton, is the wealthy hacker. Dean, played by Angus Cloud, a sociopathic driver. And then Rickles is the Marine sniper. Oh, and then there's Peter, who is the Canadian dimwit mob enforcer. All of them, like, when they all banter together in, like, one scene, it truly is, like, I hate to use this, but it's kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy, how they banter back and forth. And as they all bonded and met each other, I just was truly eating it up just because of how amazing chemistry there was on screen with all of them. So after Dean unsuccessfully flirts with Sammy, he enters the basement and is quickly dragged away by an unseen creature. Sammy hears his screams, but only finds a headless corpse. Only finds Dean's headless corpse. So R.I.P. Dean, played by Angus Cloud. And let me just say, the visual effects and gore in this movie were actually pretty good. It was nothing compared to like that of Terrifier, but it was still really good. And you're like, oh my god! Like then Frank confronts Abigail and demands to know who her father is. And he finds out that Abigail's father is Christophe Lazar, who is a feared crime lord. After Frank goes back to the group, and informs them, Rickles, who is the sniper, he tries to leave, but the home security system activates and they're locked inside this mansion. And at this point, I'm like, oh god, what did they just do? And at this point, it's like they don't even know that Zoko is a vampire. They just know that they're locked in this place, and they're dealing with some really dangerous territory with some dangerous people. And so I'm just eating this. I'm like, oh, when are they going to find out she's a vampire? When are we going to get the big reveal to them? Because we all know, the whole audience knows that it's the little girl, but it's like just watching these people try to figure it out. It's kind of just like it's entertaining. And so as they look for another way out, Rickles, who kind of has some sexual tension with Joey, Melissa Barrera's character, they kind of make a vow to stick together through this. But quickly after that, Rickles is mauled to death, and after that, Frank tells Peter to kill Abigail. And as they attempt to kill Abigail, Joey stops him. And during the altercation, Abigail suddenly transforms into the vampire, causing the group to run away in terror. And just the tension, the intensity in these scenes is just, you're just on the edge of my seat. Like, I'm telling you right now, I had a full thing of popcorn right next to me. And once the movie started, I did not pick that popcorn back up. And that's just how good this movie is. Like, you can just tell how much I was invested into a movie just by how much I drink my drink and eat my popcorn. And yeah, like, I wasted some money right there just from that. But that's just how good this movie truly was. Like, I was so invested into the story in this movie. And so distressed, the group discusses how to kill Abigail, as they've learned that gunshots don't harm her. 3 of the 4 find Abigail dancing with Dean's body, and they try to use garlic stakes and crosses, but each prove unsuccessful. After they try to fight her off, they then regroup once more, and Joey suggests using the tranquilizer that Lambert had given them earlier for the kidnapping. They then split up again, and Sammy, played by Kathryn Newton, falls into a swimming pool, and it is revealed that the pool is filled with Abigail's former victims, dead bodies that are just swarming with flies, and they're just rotting corpses, and it's just so, like, it's disgusting, proving that the ransom plan was all an elaborate trap. The four manage to find Abigail and tranquilize her, though not before she manages to bite Sammy. Kathryn Newton's Sammy gets bitten by the vampire, and they then realize that this was all a trap. There is no money, and that they were set up, basically. When Abigail awakes after being tranquilized, Abigail reveals each surviving kidnapper's identity and backstory. And this is when they reveal all of their real names. I can't remember all of them. I know Melissa Barrera's character, Joey, her actual name was like Anne. I think Kathryn Newton's was like Jessica or Jenna or something along those lines. I can't quite remember. But after we get some great character development and learn stuff about these characters, they all split up, and they leave Frank in charge of watching Abigail. And Abigail easily breaks out of her cage after trying to compromise with Frank, and she starts to choke him. Joey then storms in and rips wooden planks off of a window and exposes her to sunlight, which they find out is her weakness, only for her hand to explode. And let me just say, like I said, the effects in this movie were so freaking good. And it truly was just, and when her hand exploded, I'm like, oh my god, yes. Like if you know me, you know I love that gore, the blood. I love all that in these movies. And so after they run from Abigail, they run into a room where it's like filled with sunlight. With only hours left before nightfall, the group splits up to find a way out, trying to get to a power source to turn off the power so that they can escape. And then suddenly, Sammy, played by Kathryn Newton, she turns into a vampire under Abigail's control. And so she's basically Abigail's puppet. And this scene of her, Sammy as a vampire, it was pretty badass. Let me just say that. And she kills Peter, which I just have to say, Peter was probably my favorite character of this movie, just because he has so many like funny one-liners. Like this movie, like I said in my non-spoiler part, there were just so many one-liners. Like those are fucking onions. Like that line right there, I laughed at so much. And there's just many ones like that where I just burst out laughing. And so after Sammy kills Peter, Abigail then has Sammy attack Frank and Joey, forcing Joey to kill Sammy with sunlight, and she just explodes, and guts and blood and brains go everywhere. I'm just like, yes, give me more of this gore galore. I love every part of this. And like I said, throughout these scenes, you're just so invested, and it's just so intense. And so after this point, it's just Joey and Frank, and I'm just like, oh my god, are these two gonna make it out alive? Like, we've already lost basically the whole group. It's just these two now with Abigail. And so, hoping to deactivate the security measures, Joey and Frank find the mansion's control room, and in the control room is Lambert, who is revealed to also be a vampire. Lambert explains he was turned by Abigail for betraying her father, and offers to turn Frank to help him kill Abigail. Frank then turns on Joey and accepts, but states Lambert after he turns. And as Abigail runs in, she is overpowered by Frank, and he drinks her blood, enhancing his new abilities. Frank then tells Joey that he intends to turn her into a vampire under his control after biting her. But what he doesn't know is that there's certain rules and certain things that he does not know yet about being a vampire. Joey resists Frank's control and teams up with Abigail. And I kind of love this part because around this time is where Melissa Barrera had this really great scene where since she's a mother of a son, she calls her son and just to say her goodbye, and it's just so emotional, and I found myself tearing up at this part, and it was so amazing. Melissa Barrera is just a great actress, and I hope people will soon realize that, the ones who haven't already. She's truly amazing. I also just really want to give props to whoever the stunt performers are for Melissa Barrera in this movie, because her character was thrown around so much in the third act, and I'm so glad that's not Melissa doing her own stunts, because that would be insane with how much her character gets thrown around in the third act of this movie. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe how much her character is really suffering in this movie. Like her character, like I mean, you can tell that she's a strong character and she can definitely take some great hits. But man, she was getting the life like taken out of her with every throw and every, and then when she gets stabbed with the stake, I'm just like, oh my god, like how many times are they going to? How many times is that going to happen? Like, but eventually, they're able to stake Frank, and with Frank dead, Joey is free from the vampire's curse. And after that, Frank explodes as well, and so now Melissa Barrera is just covered in blood. Her Joey or Anne, however you want to say her name, and you just through her acting, like I said, she's such a great actress. You can just see how traumatized she is through the scene. Like she's just shaking. She's like, I don't know what happened. She's totally in shock. I don't know if anyone else like caught that as well, but just through her acting, you can just see how like this really is going to mess her up like mentally. As Joey begins to try to leave, Abigail's father enters, who we know is Dracula, and he threatens her. But then Abigail stands up to him and reveals that Joey saved her life, telling him that Joey was there for her when he wasn't, and that truly like it did touch me a bit right there. He grants Joey permission to leave, and that's when Joey departs the estate to find her son, treating herself to a lollipop. And man, Melissa Barrera is the final girl once again. I rate Abigail a 9 out of 10 and an A+. I really had a great time with this movie, and I hope y'all did too. Let me know what y'all thought about this movie down below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? I would really like to hear your thoughts down below. If you like this video, please drop a like. Subscribe if you are new and join the Grimpire. I'm trying to post every week, and I plan to post more videos like this, more reviews. Turn post notifications on. And I also have my socials down in the description below if you'd like to follow me there. I have my Snapchat, my Twitter, which I'm mostly active on, my Instagram, and all those will be down in the description below. I would also like to receive some feedback. What I did right, what I did wrong. Let me know what I can work on. Every video I'm trying to work on something new, get better at this, and so I would really like you to let me know what I can really work on. And if Abigail is in theaters near you, I recommend checking out this movie right now.